Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Survivor Series 2021. Why am I laughing? Um, it's a great example of what is tantalizingly good about the WWE at times. The two champion versus champion matches, Becky Lynch and Charlotte, which opened the show technically. Though they did have a pre-show match, which we will get into as well. And the one between Big E and Roman Reigns was a very good match as well. But it was filled with a bunch of nonsense that didn't really amount to much. The egg thing, which is freaking ridiculous. That's why I picked that for the picture that you'll see during the audio. And constant teasing and talking about The Rock, who obviously didn't show up, but what? Why? All right, all right. So I had the unique experience of listening to this show on my drive back from Georgia. I didn't get. I literally watched the last 5 minutes of the show on my television at home. All the rest took place as I was driving. So yeah, from like 7 until like 10:20 or 11:20, I was in the car taking the show in. Crazy, right? So okay. So the pre-show, which I listened to in its entirety, um, I guess it serviceably does what it's supposed to do. Just a bunch of people, dividing their who's going to win this. Two people say this, two people say that, and then they just talk a bunch of gobbledygook. It's very strange for me when you think about it in like a larger wrestling context that you got Booker T there, who's now made a career out of basically saying outlandish stuff in loose support of the WWE constantly. And then Jerry Lawler, who was once, the biggest thing in Memphis and all of that, and now is sort of relegated to this show, but I'm sure is very happy to collect the check. And then, like, kind of dweeby guys, and it is what it is. That first match, which was Shinsuke Nakamura against Damian Priest, ended in a DQ thing because Damian Priest busted up the guitar of Boogs and then hit Shinsuke with the broken guitar pieces. So there was this conjecture of like, well, is he a bad guy now? It doesn't matter. I mean, this match is. But one thing it did do was plant the seed of, oh my God, are we going to have to watch a bunch of disqualifications throughout the night? And thankfully, the answer is absolutely not. That's one thing I will give to this show. Absolutely. Clean finishes. Yeah, there were some count out stuff on the 5-on-5. Can you believe they used to entirely comprise cards of these like 4-on-4, 5-on-5 matches and do it seamlessly? And this shit was so clunky. The t-shirts that the Raw and SmackDown guys wore in that battle royal were so oh God, it's bad stuff. But Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair was not bad stuff. Really, really, really great. Roll up and the reverse on the roll up, grabbing the rope, so Becky Lynch gets the win. Certainly, you know, it was every bit as good as you wanted it to be. Have they had better matches together in the past? Probably, but man, you just can't deny. And them opening with the match, in retrospect, is a really fantastic booking move. I think you just keep this thing as far away from Roman and Biggie as you can, and you just let people confidently settle into the show because they opened with such a great match. Now, I will say that this show was very long and it was filled with shenanigans and bullshit. I mean, just having to watch entrances for those 5-on-5s, everybody's entrance, and they burn so much time with that bullshit. It really is a show that needed editing, but that is what it is. Team Raw: Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley. Team SmackDown: Drew McIntyre, Xavier Woods, Jeff Hardy, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus. I really like the booking in the sense that I loved that they ended it with Hardy and Seth Rollins. I thought that looked stellar. Um, and it was a very, very good match. I saw some people saying that they thought Turning Point was a better overall show. I could not disagree more. Everything, at least in the moment, felt much more consequential on Survivor Series. Absolutely. Even the egg business, I go, at least it was business that seemed like it was moving somewhere, even if though it didn't really. Though we have a mystery now. Are you excited? Me too. 25-man battle royal. This was easily the least favorite thing, but at least the story was clear, which is like almost as a bad man. And they certainly got that across. Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro against the Usos. A pretty good match here. Again, nothing exceptional, but even the pretty good matches on Survivor Series were far better than the pretty good matches on Impact. Let's not get it twisted. I thought this was really, really wonderful. Um, Turning the splash into the RKO was really nice. They've gotten really good at the camera work, in particular on Randy Orton stuff. So stuff can be a surprise to some people, certainly not to me. I mean, I call that spot a million miles away. It doesn't matter. Really well done. And thank goodness they just decided to keep RK Bro together. It's much more compelling and interesting than the alternative. Team Raw, for the women's, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Zelina Vega, and Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Shotzi, Shayna Baszler, Natalia, and Toni Storm. By the way, some service was done to advancing angles. I should mention that. Like Kevin Owens just bailing on his team right from the jump. I thought was an interesting thing. Bianca Belair as sole survivor was a really nice moment. Letting Shotzi get close to the end and then not winning. People will say, look, she's never going to win, but they really do put her in prominent spots. And I'm not the biggest fan of what the WWE has been doing. It doesn't take away from the fact that Survivor Series was a reasonable enough show that was just way too long and bookended by the best matches on the card. And then we had Big E against Roman Reigns. A very, very, very good match. One with the spear, Roman Reigns won, and thank goodness we had finishes. It's very, very important. Uh, so yeah, kudos. So the build was horrific, but they really put their best foot forward, and they were doing so much. Roman Reigns showing up on late night, and they did a bunch of other promotion for this stuff in the general public. So they really showed out and put their best foot forward. Now, the Rock stuff, him not showing up, that is what it is. At this point, disappointed is the standard. And then the egg business. I hate to be that guy. I will say, let's see how this plays out. There's a good chance it'll be disappointing, but at least it is an attempt to do something.